The ROTH Show, brought to you by Ink the Original.
A whole group of women maintain the Ronda Rouseys and the Nunes, and they lead the way in terms of empowerment. Yeah, they're going to get a little bit of a nose busted and a little bit of an ear, but so what? It's character. It's personality, okay? And I agree. Hey, those are great examples for really, really strong women in the future. If my house bursts into flames, I'm going to want whoever shows up as a fire person to be able to drag my skinny ass out that door far enough from the flames that I don't lose my tattoos. I don't want somebody, and you don't want Woody Allen in a fire hat 6 times 2 sized, stand over and go, well, shit, I'm going to need another 6 of me. I want Ronda Rousey to grab me by my nose ring and drag. Of course, now I'm back into that Castro all lesbian torture squad shit. Careful what you show your niños. Jump me, Tom. If you're going into professional tennis, professional law enforcement, professional military, professional fire, it's a long goddamn list. Professional sports security, then ladies, you need your heroes, heroines. You need your sports characters, your arts characters, folks that, like I had leading my way, that you can emulate. You want to walk in those footsteps. So that's where female bodybuilding comes in. That's where real buff. That's where mixed martial arts gals get involved. Because I believe, hey, you want to have more than 50% of the police force female, I'm all for it. But you got to be able to mitigate when you show up at a Polish wedding and go, guys, we're all, Jesus Christ, and be able to knock them both out. That's why I'm not in law enforcement. Stay focused. As a role model, those women certainly provide a great scope for gals who are going to be mixing it up and being feisty in some sense in the future, okay? As far as attitude, mindset, perspective, overview, well, it's the same mindset that you want in a heart surgeon. That's the same mindset that you want in your educators, the bosses, and it's all going to be women, all right? That's the same mindset in the gals who are your scout masters, your yoga instructors, okay? To have that kind of muscle, all right? It's great when gals have that, to be able to turn on that masculine thing. Boom! I understand on some other podcasts, it's great when fellas turn on the female thing. Haven't seen it, but we're all for it. Now, well, jump me. A dissenting voice says, Dave, those women are taking a beating. So's Keith Richard. He's still ticking. Tumbling dice. I'll jump it myself. As a considered adult decision, if you decide to take steroids, lift weights until your body is 6 times too big for your head, and then you want to charge admission and stand next to other guys or gals who have done that as well, and you really put in your time and your effort and your ambition, I'll pay to watch you do it. In fact, I'll pay Golden Circle tickets so I can see you up close without my reading glasses. If you decide that you want to box or you want to do mixed martial arts or wrestle, grapple, any variation of that, knowing full well that in time at the far end of the sport, because we all think of ourselves as high fashion models, but we're not high fashion models. Okay, so whatever they're going to suffer from is pretty rare. It's like when you go to the gym and your little skinny friend says, I don't want to get too big muscular. Okay, Reg. Well, don't flatter yourself, because that'd take about 9 years. Really, I've had no problem watching a lot of rock stars and celebrities destroy themselves, like having a nervous breakdown in slow motion over a period of 30 years. And they enjoy doing it for me, and their prices go up. And they make about 5 to 7 million per stadium. Rolling Tom. Maybe he's not falling apart at all, which is even more the achievement, because he duped me. I don't have any words after that one. A very loud voice today describes that the women in porno are self-empowered, that they are using themselves physically, spiritually, mentally, and yes, they're inviting and incurring all of the same mental, physical, medical, etc. damage that boxers do. And boxers make a truckload of money, and I understand that some of our top paid gals even sleep with a president occasionally. Probably want to edit that one time. Buddy of mine once said, Dave, have you ever heard a $50,000 guitar? I said, no, I have not. We both agreed that we'd heard $10,000 and $20,000 guitars. It was a Martin vintage acoustic guitar. It was not that expensive because of who had played it. We know about the artist's signature improving the value of something way beyond perhaps what's actually on the canvas. This was not to be the case. This was a Martin guitar, vintage, had an amazing sound, allegedly. We did not ultimately hear it, but we knew the price tag, $50,000. No idea what a $50,000 guitar would sound like, but I simply assumed that it would sound $50,000 worth, right? Now, if we went to Monaco and I owned an 800-foot yacht and I told you I had a $50,000 a night girlfriend from Sweden, probably imagine that. I cannot imagine what a $50,000 guitar actually sounds like. Well, I can imagine her, starting with the underwear. Don't you dare jump cut this. Okay, now, first time I ever wrapped up my hands, put on oversized boxing gloves was at the boys' club behind the Fedco over on Foothill. I don't think either one is still there. In fact, I know that it is not. First time I learned to keep my hands up, and especially my left, and that he who rules the jab rules the world. I heard that in a Hispanic accent how many times when I was 10 years old. Loved every second of it, hated every second of it, loved every second of it, hated... It's a long explanation because everybody loves to hit, but nobody likes to see the stars going. You remember in the cartoons, the stars going around, okay? And over a period of time, those stars stay. Over a period of time, your retinas do this like the Batmobile, and you got to hire somebody like my pop to put them back in your head, all right? And after a while, you come back, you get the DMV, and through no fault of your own, it's hard to say your name, and I'm not kidding. Okay, that's head trauma, closed wound head trauma. We think nothing of sending our kids off to boxing camp early. Like I said, I started with my parents' full consent and get out of the house, go get it out of your system. Well, big part of getting it out of your system is some other kid getting it out of his. Bam! It's the same thing in football for me. I did not have talent in football. Much as the same, I didn't have talent really in any other sports. My enthusiasm way surpasses my physical or sporting skill abilities, and still does. Beginner spirit, man. I've always had that. Says that right on the side of my gi. Beginner spirit in Japanese. And had to put there in Tokyo because it reminds me, whatever. I'm never going to be superb at Japanese martial arts. My legs are too long. My teacher told me. Sensei, Tsuyoshi Sensei, he comes up to about here. And finally, one day, he said to me, I said, do you think I'm ever really going to become a mirror image of my master, which is the ultimate goal? I've been at this 40 years now, whatever, longer. He says, no, your legs are too long. But I maintained my composure, what we in America called held my mud. And I turned to him and say, and you will never win at basketball.
The Roth Show, brought to you by Ink the Original.